You are listening to the Built to Grow podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, in studio, as always, joined by Randy Angston. What's up, guy?
How we doing?
Good. Looking at this sweet little plaque we were just gifted for the Built to Grow podcast. If you guys are watching on the YouTube channel, we do have a YouTube channel. You can check out this sweet plaque that we were given by Ryan.
Ryan and Dexy, Legacy Podcasting.
Legacy Podcasting. So, yeah, there you have it. It's sweet. It's like this clear, kind of, it's got our logo on it, and it's like this clear block, like an acrylic.
That's some good-looking dudes.
Yeah.
Some good-looking dudes.
Man, look good. Anywho, got a lot of stuff to cover. This one's going to be a little bit more, I don't know, less businessy, but more, call it self-help, motivational, you know.
Well, how about, just the person making the decisions in the business.
Yeah.
That's who we're speaking to.
We got to get in your head, too. So, I mean, this, and I will be first to say that this episode, you know, affected me, you know, like the way things have been going. So I will, we'll start this off 2020, right? Probably a pretty gnarly year for most gyms. I do know of a few gyms that are actually doing pretty well. Like,
True.
Now there's some good things that came out of 2020 in the shutdowns and all the craziness that happened. It forced people to go back into their P&Ls, look at their expenses, get really skinny on the business. And for some, you know, they're coming out more profitable. In fact, we were in that situation last year. So we were a little heavy on some stuff, some staffing or subscriptions and things we can cut out. But, you know, obviously the gross revenue came way down. But at the end of the day, it's what you keep, not what you make. So there's some silver linings to some of the stuff that's happened for everybody. But this particular episode is going to talk about mindset. So set the stage for everybody. Like, what, you know, as far as the, you know, external factors that go into somebody's mindset.
Well, obviously, you know, 2020 is a perfect example. I mean, everybody can pull from what we went through last year. I mean, you as business owners, you know, you weren't given a choice on whether or not you face turmoil. It happened to everybody. And so, you know, all of us are influenced, and we make a decision, truthfully. We decide the level of influence that our external stimulation can affect us with. And so coming into this episode, we both felt that there was a need to have a conversation around how that external influence is going to affect you. What are you doing with it? How can you use that? Are you the type of individual that falls victim, you know, to all of that external circumstance? Or are you going to rise to the table and become a victor? So we decided that, you know, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about, you know, kind of the garbage that we all went through. Let's give it a little bit of energy, but then let's cut the cord. Let's focus on, you know, what we need to do to move the needle. Let's go from problem focused to solution focused. So
that's a great point. So, you know, right now we just came out of the election. We just came out of all of the turmoil that goes with the political environment, what you're seeing on social media, what you're seeing on mainstream media. And then on top of all of that, you get your business stuff going down the drains on some of this. So it's you know, makes sense for some of us to go in the dumps, right? And we work with clients on all levels, and sometimes we do have to talk people off the ledge, and you have to get down to the core root of the issue. Like, what can you control and what can't you control? Because I can tell you, there's not much we can control in the political world. Right?
Absolutely.
We voted, that happened, and what else can you really do? So the fact that you're concentrating it in you know, I fell into this too, watching the news and seeing what's going on, because it does affect us on a taxation level and all kinds of things from business. But what can we really do about it?
Yeah.
What's the point? So I kind of cut that off a couple weeks back, really. And you know what we've been doing as a family? We've been watching the Harry Potter series.
There you go. That's kind of cool.
So you know, we've been watching Harry Potter. I know it's old, like it's 10 years old.
Yeah, but you got like 3 weeks worth of content you could.
Yeah. So every, you know, night we have dinner and then we go watch the Harry Potter. And you know, we've actually watched 1 through 5, and then we went back and watched 1 through 4 again because we've missed a lot of stuff.
Sure.
Like, what's going on with Professor Snape? You know, like Snape or whatever. Like, he's giving us clues in episode 2. Like, let's go back and watch it.
That's
So,
cool.
So that was a conscious decision to decide to cut some stuff off and kind of focus on things that, don't take as much brain power and drag you down.
And that's what it is. It's controlling the influences that you're allowing in as well, right? If you're waking up every single day, the first thing you do is grab your phone and you start checking the news, you're going to have shitty days, guys. Like, it's impossible not to. Like, the influence, some of my coaches have always said, your first half hour, don't even have your phone. Because another thing that, and I've talked about this in the podcast too, if you want to be proactive for today, you can't start by picking up from literally like what happened yesterday. You need to set today's intentions first before just picking up, from the slack of yesterday. And in positioning yourself in a reactive mindset instead of proactive. So by avoiding news, avoiding the external stimulation that isn't moving the needle, it's not encouraging your day. It's not a positive aspect. If you can avoid all of that stuff and really control the stimulation that you're putting in, spend your time audiobooks, podcasts, reading, turn the news off, guys. Like, at this point, it's not serving us, like Tim said. Like, there's nothing for us to gain right now by just being inundated and having to track every minute by minute, what's going on.
It's pointless. It's interesting because it was like a reality show for a while, and you were hoping for some things.
Every day we woke up, it was like, what insane things are we going to hear today? But
yeah. And so Erin gave us a really cool tip earlier. She said, things are going to happen, and you have to allow yourself to, focus on that for a set amount of time.
Sure.
And really, the whole point of this is you give yourself a set amount of time. You're bummed about it. Maybe you cry about it or whatever it is that happened, and then you give yourself a stopping point. All right, I'm done. I gave it my attention, and now it's time to move on. And I think that's the same thing, because there's a lot of stuff that's continuing to come at us as business owners that, you can't just ignore it, but like you can't focus on it. And that's the key difference, is allowing yourself to, absorb and understand the problem at hand. How can we solve it? And then stop, because worrying about it, if you stop worrying about it, that's one thing, because worrying is not going to change anything.
They say worrying is placing a bet against yourself, right? It's nothing but like literally stressing over a problem, saying, oh man, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if I could do it. Well, shouldn't you be your biggest, advocate? How about, exactly.
Always bet on yourself.
You bet on yourself, exactly. So worrying is pointless.
So some of the things she said to get out of the negative thinking, she's like, hey, you know what? Journal, writing, meditation, yoga, obviously exercise. That's our front and center. Put some music on. Yeah. Do a little artwork. Maybe go fishing or hiking. Get your mind. Also, sometimes if you force yourself into, and maybe this is your MO, like go do some charity work, and it makes you feel good internally. It's about focusing on the positives and not the negatives. But the point here is the focus.
Yes.
You can change your focus, like you choose to focus on it or you choose not to focus on it.
One of the first personal growth courses, things that I took years ago, probably 21 years old. What the whole premise behind the entire thing was, we decide our attitude. We always 100% control our own attitude. The only time somebody else can act, like physically manipulate your attitude, is if somebody physically assaulted you, right? Like you can make me feel a certain way. I choose to feel that way, right? If you put your hands on me, cool, I'm now responding to, physical touch. But, somebody could be in your face saying whatever that they want, about you, to you. Life happens. People, struggle. Businesses fail. All of these things happen. How you respond, how you decide, what attitude you decide to have in dealing with that is 100% in your control.
It's your choice.
It's not easy, guys, and understand that this takes time and discipline. This is something that I teach right off the bat in our coaching program. But it all, and then it speeds up over time. The better that you can, the more aware you can become about these emotions. Like Tim said, give yourself a timeline, deal with them, feel them. There's a good, emotions are important, but when they control every decision you make,
that's the tough part. Yeah.
Exactly. You start to lose the logic, the control, the discipline. And then the more repetition you have, the easier you're going to find it. You're going to remain more solution-focused than you are problem-focused. People that dwell on things every day, that worry about it all, that just don't know how to get through, it's because you're focused on the problem. The problem exists. We all face problems, but like line up the solutions. Pick
Yeah.
one and go.
Yeah.
Now we got something to work for. We got something
Correct.
to do. We're moving the needle forward.
And it takes a conscious effort to do
Absolutely.
that. It doesn't just happen, right? You have to you have to be aware
Awareness.
that this is what's happening, and you have to decide consciously to make a different change, like focus on this instead of that. Like it's easy to talk about. It's very hard to do. And the more reps that you have, obviously you're going to get better. But this is a great time to talk about this for all the gyms out there that are just they've been beat up. Like,
Yeah.
You've been beat up. Got it. Let's move on. So all that happened. Now you can just focus about rebuilding. And think about the positives that have come out of what you just happened. Like I said, the P&Ls, you're skinnier as a business. Maybe you didn't bring back that front desk person yet because really you're the coaches are going to handle that for
Sure.
now. And it's less money out because you've got less money coming in. So you've got to make some of these changes. But it's forced us to get smarter with the business. And, I did it here, right? We got skinnier. We actually have more profit. Like,
Yeah.
Shauna was like, I know you're saying that a lot of this business is down, but you know what? You're making more money. It's like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Hey,
There's nothing wrong with that.
yeah.
And that's just because we got smart with the business. If we didn't change anything, we'd be in the hole, right? And
Absolutely.
That's a tough place to be. So,
That right there is exactly what we're recommending all of you guys do, though. You know what I mean? If you didn't change something, if you're not willing to change something, you have to. Otherwise, you're not going to be here. So, yeah, be aware of the feelings that you're feeling and where your focus is. That needs to change.
And maybe as you're listening to this, maybe you're driving to the gym or you're at the gym working out and you're doing something, or maybe you're at home doing chores. This is your chance to really stop and think about life as a whole, like in general, all the things that are hitting you, because we get hit from everywhere. I feel you guys. I mean, I'm going to tell Randy after this the other day where my attention was all day. It was crazy. But like this would stop, right? Stop. You heard it. Now you get it. And now this is the point where you actually can then consciously make decisions and be like, yeah, you know what? There isn't anything I could do about that coach quitting. There's nothing. We've talked to her, she's going to leave. Great. What are we going to do to buffer that and build from it and bring in a new coach and, bring the new energy in, because it happens to all of us. So that's your little taskaroo for the day.
Yeah.
They'll put this in, hopefully if you need to re-listen to it. I think this is a good time we've never really talked about this one. This is a good topic because of the time and place, what's happening, but feel free to come back and listen to this, guys. We're here for you. We're here to help you win. And if this is just one little thing that helps you win, that's really our goal here. So take it and run.
Take that nugget and run.
All right, guys. That's it for this show. Until next episode, keep changing lives. See you.